One of the, he has written, hopefully at some point we lower the China. At least population very soon. Let's look at this. This is India's demographic dividend is the young population. In our bank, the average age of the employee now, you know what it is? In Axis Bank? Sir, it is 47. 50, average age. 47. So the large number of young people. You're right. So, not trainees, sir. Employee guys, they get the employee. Okay. The point I was trying to make, and please, I request none of you should take an offense. They all were born after our dear Sanjay Gandhi died. Okay, so India, 59% population below 30 years as a percentage of total population, which is quite good for us. The increasing urbanization will help drive growth and deepen connection. This is going to be good for the country. Let's look at these numbers, my favorite slide. China had more people, poor people than India in 1981. And suddenly what has happened? Oh God. So, we all have to work hard. How to work hard? Let's look at some of the other slides. This is quite interesting. Our credit deposit ratio, whenever this chart was prepared, was at this level, less than 60. But in some of the other countries, in India, it is so high. That means there is room to expand credit to the market. This is further growth. This you all know much more than me. And then let's look at this. Telecom, then and telecom now, you all know this. And that's quite amazing, the kind of telecom revolution which we have seen. Tourist arrivals, and when I last time showed this slide to one of the ex-deputy governor of RBI, and she mentioned how badly we treat our female tourists. And I actually, I was looking at the floor at the time. And that's a very honest thing. And I am ashamed when such type of things happen. And the girl has gone back to the US and she has written a blog how she was treated. And that creates a bad image about our. But then there is still tremendous potential. You see the gap. Greater China and where is India? Rising fiscal deficit continues to be a problem and is going to be a problem. Why? Let's look at this. Composition of government subsidy. On petroleum, on fertilizer, on food, how much we are paying. And this is where we have to see. Tax revenues as percentage of GDP. This is where all of you can help it. No, by encouraging your clients to pay it. Okay, and so this chart, I need not explain. You know much better. Okay. And then let us look at this. This is quite interesting. This is prepared sometime back in 2009-10, and these are the numbers. So 1 crore to 2 crore, this is the number of returns. 2 crore to 3, this number, it's like this. Do you think this number is? No, but this is from the official data.
You can have zeros on the.
Sir, anyone of you from Mumbai? You have seen Kemp's Corner in Mumbai? There is a Muchhad Panwala. Do you think he makes less than 1 crore a year? You just stand at his shop for half an hour, the kind of pans he sells for 15 to 20 rupees a piece, and you will be amazed. Anyway, and in last year's speech, Chidambaram Sahib said that only 42,800 super rich, and he has taxed them. A, you are declaring, B, you are taxing. How sad. And this is amazing. These work hard. Indians are working only for 73 days to pay to government. And look at all So you can make your own data and put it somewhere.
China, everybody works from their government only.
Sir, you said it. Okay, so current account deficit and fiscal deficit, we have seen this, and it's a problem. So India's CAD improving and external debts remains risky. You see this, trade deficits has improved sharply in recent readings, is contributing. So it's not coming now part of the official numbers, and everybody is happy. And we are unhappy because I have stopped my gold business. Anyway. So ECB flows, now you see this is very critical. Okay, please all of you just look at this. ECB flows are also typically driven by domestic growth prospects, but incentives to attract such flows to cover CAD has now forced a wedge. You see, this has been following more or less India's GDP growth. But suddenly, there is a wedge that the growth has gone down and the ECB has gone up, and this is a sure recipe for disaster. Why? Because everybody thought that cheaper dollar rates will take those loans, will not hedge it, and then we'll trust government and the rupee becomes equal to $1 equal to 7. Because I have not hedged it and now somebody has to pay me now. Sir, you are paying in India, I am paying in India, so we might pay now. Okay. Let's go next. Now this you look, trend in India's portfolio and debt flows broadly stable, provide some hope. This is despite the 5 billion outflow and all other things. And this is something interesting, just look at this. I'll read the headline only. CAD expected to improve, but the quantum portfolio flows would be key if BOP is to record a surplus. So this is what we are forecasting. So current account, Chidambaram Sahab says 70. But if they don't allow gold to come, it might be 61. And you can read it, you just search, Google it, please read it. So let's move on. So import cover of FX reserves has bottomed out. So it has now started inching up. And what Dr. Rajan said, why not about import cover? Why don't you talk about the import minus export? There it is right. Okay. So we take that what he says. And this has already been shown by the CEO of SBI here. And this is what we have discussed earlier also, so let's move on. So why we should appreciate now? We'll take a vote, that's why I have put here. So who says that why we should appreciate now? We don't know. And who will say we should appreciate further because of these reasons? Now these two are realities on both sides. At any point of time, yes.
Inflation, actually, election, you should be there as a depreciation. Every time there is election, you depreciate.
Sir, I think they have already taken their money. Okay, so these are the things, sir. This is prepared by my technical expert. They talk about these support levels and resistance levels. So let us take it as what they are saying. Because let me just tell you, my technical traders are not a month-long traders or a year-long traders. They trade only day in and day out. And I have put very tight stop losses for them. So it's a one-day view. But in any case, these are very critical levels you must look at whenever you are looking to trade in INR. Are you trading in INR? Very exchange or domain exchange? Not trading. By not sending money, are you not trading? Or by sending money, are you not trading? So either way you are trading, you are exposed. The moment you are exposed to foreign exchange, this you are trading. Right? So, INR call. And Sumit, when he called me first time, he says, you have to definitely say where the rupee is. I said, that's the easiest thing. It's right or wrong. So how many say it will be here?
When? What we say?
Sir, your call, I did not say that. The economist never gives a time frame. And in the long term, all of us are dead. So, I'll just give you one example. Way back I was working in Hong Kong, so in one of these gatherings, one gentleman, he stood up and said, I was introducing myself as a trader, and he said, Ashok, I have never lost money in my life in currency. I said, sir, please, you are my Rohan Jara. If I am not your Arjun, make me your Eklavya. Do tell me something. So he said, yeah, it is fine. He said, but they were not of clay. So what he said, X currency, in 1962 I got it, and I am still holding it. The year was 2004. Quite old. So I said, sir, I mean, if the holding period is lifelong, then you will never lose. Your children or grandchildren will decide. So, how many hands would this is, sir? No hands. My God.
Yeah.
Dr. Rajan, what are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
How about this? Sir, will you do one thing? Sir, 52, how many hands?
Already there.
How about this, sir?
These are speculative.
Sir, you keep the dollars ready and then say where it should be. And how many for this? I for this. Because I don't know. So thank you very much. Have I earned my dinner? Yes. Q&A is only for sweets, and my time says don't have sweets. So I will not answer it. Sir, I'll take it. Before I go, please read this disclaimer. If I am giving you any views, they may change the moment I step out. So please don't hold me responsible for whatever I have said. And this has been drafted by my legal. So, yes.
Amongst the various factors, you did not mention the Mauritius effect, because there so much Benami money could be going and coming back, especially said in the rise of FII investments in shares and all that. Does that really impact on a very small portion?
Sir, for certain things I rely on chartered accountants to tell you. Benami money say. I mean, I have no experience in this. What you're saying is absolutely right. It's our own money. That is only a rule. It's our own money, sir. Whatever comes from Mauritius is the money of everybody who is. Are you recording? So please. So thank you very much. We said engage, so I tried to engage, but let me tell you, you all enchanted me. Thank you very much.
Sorry, sir. Yeah. Question is, what is the status of covering the US dollar bond issue through Singapore banks? I'm not sure. Can we should address your question in more clarity?
Sir, which US dollar bonds?
It's a forward bond, in Singapore with Chidambaram and all, they went with the banks and 90% and 10% would be 90% would be rupees, 10 would be other currency. So that it doesn't.
Sir, let me be very honest, I'm not aware of any such details.
Last week it was.
But unless they have officially declared, we are not too sure. But let me just tell you what is the thought process, because I was part of some of the meetings and discussions. Like this FCNR thing and the benefits that they have given to the banks. Let's try to understand this. And this is actually your bond thing which is being answered here. What I believe, as of now, government is taking a call that till 30th November, let us see how much dollars actually come in the country. by way of the relaxation what they have done for 3 year and above window for both NRI deposits, NRE deposit and the FCNRB deposits. Now in FCNRB, they have given a fantastic incentive to the banks that banks can go to Reserve Bank of India and convert this dollar for a period of 3 years at the small rate of 3.5%. At this point of time, the annualized swap rate is 8% plus. Okay, so by way of this, they are implicitly telling banks to encourage NRIs like you to come and deposit A. B, also provide leverage outside India. Because forget about HDFC Bank or Axis Bank or State Bank of India. Let's talk about the foreign banks. Foreign banks have resources available to them at LIBOR and sub-LIBOR. India will be paying, I told you, 4.97. Just for discussion and calculation sake, say it is 5%. So let's look at floating to fixed. Even if you convert the floating LIBOR to fixed year, the total cost for them will not be more than 1%. For the non-Indian banks. Okay. So straight off, they have a gain of 4% outside. And when they leverage, then essentially it is their own money which gets returned. NRIs will be giving 100, they will be putting 900, so a million will be deposited. I mean, I'm just giving a rough number. And they might pass on certain things to you out of that. So because you will be fronting. So you got the point? And when that money comes in India, at this point of time, the operating rate I told you till 2 days back was 10.25. So they were borrowing at 10.25. Now the operating rate is 9.5. So they are borrowing at 9.5. But let's talk about if they are paying 5% for FCNR and 3.5 for this swap. So they are accessing this rate at 8.5 in India. So it is the way it has been designed, it is win-win for everybody, rather than the Indian taxpayer. No, honestly. This way, big numbers I have heard in the market, anywhere from 8 billion to 16 billion. My own estimation is that somewhere from 8 to 12 billion on a most conservative basis the money will come. So that is the least we are talking about. So once this money comes, whether a bond will still be issued, because Government of India is not keen to lend their name to issue a bond. They will not issue. And the banks like State Bank of India, what I have read only from the newspapers, they have said they don't want to issue it. Because somebody has to take the currency risk and the interest rate risk onto their books. In the last bonds which were issued, RBI had taken a part of it. So that is the answer for this bond question.
So if this 12 billion comes, then the rupee will strengthen.
Sir, let me put it this way. This 12 billion, when it comes, it will be given as a swap to Reserve Bank of India. So this will actually act as a reserve. Reserve Bank of India will actually prefer that instead of FCNRB, money actually comes in the form of NRE. When it actually supplies a dollar on day, it hits India. But let's see how much money actually comes. Governor gave the number that 417 million on NRE something has come. Plus, and these are very initial numbers. Huge numbers are going to come. Number one. Number two, what they have also said, that up to 100% of the tier 1, unimpaired tier 1 of the banks, earlier that limit was 50%, banks can borrow in dollars and give the dollars to Reserve Bank of India, and that they will give you 100 basis point less than the market rate as swap. On a Axis Bank balance sheet, because these are published numbers, I suddenly get a room of 2.4 billion. Many of the banks have not used this window. They have used only 5 or 10%. So even if they go up to 50%, imagine the kind of money that can come in. But we all must understand this is all borrowed money, this is not FDI, at some point it will go. But they right now want to buy time. Because they know that Fed is going to announce their tapering and the dollar will flow out. They want to buy time by bringing all these dollars. That's why 30th November is the date. And if they get actually 15-16 billion, they may stop it earlier also. So please quickly talk to your bank.
The leverage which you said is not seen in public newspaper or anywhere.
Sorry?
The leverage facility.
Sir, talk to the bank.
No,
Nobody will publish it, sir. I am also, please. Sir, don't give it to me. What I am saying, please talk to your banks. They are approaching. They are approaching HNIs like you.
I just want to ask you one thing. Some banks, foreign banks have already structured this product on these lines what they described. Because obviously India cannot do a sovereign bond issue at this rating. Because the costing will be 7.5%, 8%.
India doesn't want to do also.
But what I am observing is they are giving a cumulative return at the end of 3 years on FCNRB. I am telling them, why don't you do a 3-year swap, fixed swap at which is 0.92% plus your margin, and match the cash flows on a 6-monthly basis, because FCNRB allows payment.
That is also, see, different banks are doing differently. Some of the banks have both the things going.
Yes.
6 monthly outflow and some are giving cumulative. Both the options are available. Just talk to your bank.
Your bank has put any condition that for these products you can do only cumulative, nothing like that.
Sir, my email ID was there.
So in the interest of time, we'll just go on one last question, sir. What is the logic of restricting the rupees to be carried out by Indian travelers and exchanging it at the airport?
Okay.
Sir,
I'll tell you. You know, sometime back they issued an instruction that the money changer should not be after the immigration. I do not take credit for or discredit for that. I was representing FIDAI and we were having a discussion with where DG was there, the previous DG, Dr. Gokal. So we were discussing whether rupee is convertible, what is to be done, and I said, sir, when we go to Singapore, Mustafa, give rupee and buy anything. It is convertible. I said in Dubai airport, this is sometime back. Dubai airport, they prominently display INR versus whatever. So he said, Gautam, you are talking about Dubai, I am talking about Heathrow. Till then I had not visited Heathrow. But he said he has seen it in Heathrow. The point was, going forward, it all depends what is the acceptability of that currency. If there is acceptability of that currency outside, the internationalization of rupee will happen. And that is one of the goals. See, many of the measures Reserve Bank of India has taken. One of them is, do you know that outside India you can now hedge rupee? Are you aware of this? Rupee invoicing. Rupee invoicing, you can come to SBI Bahrain and ask for a hedge, they will give you. So, I mean, you don't have to go to the NDF market. See, all those measures are there. And going forward, at some stage, INR, that is a goal for everyone. Why should Chinese yuan be the next international currency? Why not India? Why not INR? So, that is the goal, sir. We have to move, but we are a democracy. So, which is good. I mean, I'm able to say it. I can't say that in Singapore. Singapore, I have to say it is Republic.
Okay, sir, we have one more question. What is the minimum limit of deposit for FCNR?
Sir, 1,000.
Okay, so in the interest of time, we'll close the Q&A session here. Please note our speakers will be available for the rest of the evening in case you want to interact with them. Let's hear it out from both the speakers.
BCICI Chairman Mr. Sanjay Gupta, our past chairmen, valued speakers, and our most valued members of the CA fraternity. A very good evening to all of you. It is a privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this gracious occasion. I, Amit Shah, BCICI member, on behalf of the Bahrain chapter, would like to thank Mr. Mohan Ganeshan and Mr. Ashok Gautam for taking time out of their busy schedules and sharing their valuable knowledge with all of us. Special thanks to our event sponsors SBI, and hope they continue to participate in more of our events in the future. Friends, an event like this cannot happen overnight. It requires a lot of effort and bird eye of details. We are fortunate enough to have been blessed with such a dedicated and motivated team of executive committee members. I would like to personally thank each and every one of them to take up additional responsibilities and completing the task beyond their comfort zones. A vote of thanks to the management team at Crown Plaza for the venue arrangement and the logistics. Thanks to GDN, Bahrain Tribune, our photographers Mr. Mastan and Mr. Inosh Kumar from Arabian Magazines for the coverage of this event. Finally, thanks to all the patient listeners. Without your cooperation, the event wouldn't have been so successful. Over to C. Arun for the exciting repertoires.
Before we go for the dinner, do you want some raffle or you want to have dinner? For the first prize, for the first draw, I have complimentary dinner for two at Sofitel Restaurant, and the first winner is Sonali Pilasar.